Hello and welcome to the channel. I had this idea a while back of taking a trip, kind of an epic trip. Different people, different cultures, different places, that kind of thing, maybe changing from week to week. Now, I used to be a fan when I was a kid of this TV show called The Fantastic Journey. Bunch of guys stuck on an island and they're having to make a trip themselves from different zones to different zones, meeting different people, having different adventures along the way. Not entirely believable, kind of laughable now probably. They always looked immaculate, even though the only clothes they had seemed to be the ones they were walking around in. But I didn't care because I had a boyhood crush on Katie Saylor. And as long as she kept on wearing those outfits, then credulity could take a back seat as far as I was concerned. So that was it. Get a bike, take a trip.
You want to build a spaceship, go to the moon, salvage all the junk that's up there, bring it back, sell it.
Now, there's a bit more planning than that involved, of course, but not that much, really. Documentation took a while. But of course, you're making that kind of trip on a bike. The first thing you've got to do is, well, get a bike and learn how to ride one. So a year and 4 attempts later, and I was ready for the next stage of my plan. Okay, choosing a bike, I was also a fan of Itchy Boots, because when I was doing some research about making this kind of trip, hers was one of the channels on YouTube I found. Total respect for the girl. Boundless sense of adventure. She'll jump on a bike and basically go anywhere, and has been doing for years. The bike she was using was a Royal Enfield Himalayan, and she used that for 2 years in a row, or 2 different bikes, should I say. So I got to looking at that one. Price was good. It doesn't look too hard to fix. The parts don't look that expensive. So thought I'd give that a whirl. The overall route is going to look something like this. Through Germany, through Czech Republic, Slovakia, down through Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and into Turkey. And then it's going to be Armenia and Azerbaijan, and then cut back round. And that's going to be followed. I'm going to enter Greece, up through the Balkans, Slovenia, into Italy. Italy I've been before, but in the car. And I'm looking forward to going through Switzerland, through St Bernard's Pass. I'm going to take on that way because I did that in a car, and I'd love to do it on the bike. Then it's going to be into France and then home. So I'm guessing round about 3 months, maybe slightly less. Depends how how far I go. This is the reason I bought a bike. I love this car. About 4 years ago I got made redundant and wound up having to, well, give up the company car. Now, up to then, I spent years being told what car to drive, and they're always a bit kind of bland. Apart from the Mazda 6, I did like the Mazda 6. But then I wound up without a car, and I thought, I want to buy a car I actually want to drive. And so this was the kiddie. It's a 98 Mustang. The only hitch with this is it drinks like Oliver Reed. So if I wanted to keep the car, which I did, then I'd have to find some way of getting around that wasn't going to set me back the operating budget of NASA every time I wanted to pop down to the shops. And the bike seemed a logical solution. A 125 bike would cost, well, a cup of fuel on that will take you to the sun and back. So that's what I did, 125 bike. And that was as far as the plan was ever meant to go. After about 5 minutes I figured, okay, take the bike test, because this is way too much fun. About 3 tests later, I got my license. And I didn't kill anybody.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
Well, a fair amount's changed since the last time I recorded anything. Obviously we had the lockdown, and on and off, that's, well, surprising to say it's like 3 years ago now that all of this kind of hit the fan. But changes mean change of address, and well, the plan is still pretty much intact. Well, mostly. Not going to go quite as far as I planned. I had intended to go to Vietnam, but to be perfectly honest, the visa process between here and there has been an absolute nightmare, and I still haven't actually managed to solve it completely. So I may wind up travelling as far as India and no further, but I think that's probably far enough. Visa-wise, I'm cool for everywhere now, except I've come across one problem. Now, originally my plan had been to go through Armenia, Azerbaijan, cross the Caspian, through Kazakhstan, down as far as Tajikistan, and then cross over into Pakistan. Okay, well that, in essence, is no problem, but there's about 15 miles of China, and that is the problem. Now, there's a stupid amount of money involved in making that crossing, so I'm trying to now look at a different approach, as in going through Turkey into Iran, travelling through Iran and then coming out directly into Pakistan that way. So I've started the visa process again. Kind of hoping I'm going to be lucky on this one. Of course, none of this comes with any sort of guarantee. There's no guarantee of helpful, welcoming or friendly borders. No guarantee the bike will hold out. She's got a few miles on her already. And mostly there's no guarantee that the unforeseen isn't going to come up. The unforeseen glitch that throws the whole thing into jeopardy. So, I don't know how far I'm going to get, but I hope you'll come along for the ride.